Welcome back.
Where'd he go?
I have no idea. You just wait. No, I think he went somewhere. Yeah. All right, we're holding today's Daf Vav. We're holding the last few words on Daf Yomi the Beis. So we're smack in the middle of the Machlokes Abaye and Rava. If a person does a lav, the Torah says don't do something and you do it, does it take effect or not? So far we didn't have any luck pinning anybody into any position, because anytime we had a great question, a tiyufta, we came up with a pasuk to save that particular Amora. So now the Gemara continues weiter.
11.
Right, yesterday we did 10, we're going to do another 4, 5 today. Varei magdish tamimim lebedek habayis. There's an isser to take a perfectly good animal that's a tamim without a mum and be magdish it for the upkeep of the Beis Hamikdash. Domar Achmona nidava tas oisoi. It's talking about, the pasuk is talking about a sarua of a kolot, an animal that has all these blemishes. You should make an adava. Zeh kachim bedek habayis. But don't take a perfectly good animal and make it kosher bedek habayis. It's not. So if you're over on that isser, hamakdish tamim lebedek habayis hav bishu beloy sase ma she'oso osui. This has no value. It's just a lot of colors and whatever. So we're going to put it up for a second. This is today's shir for this amud. Okay, now I put that away. Gershon does not have to post it. Ma she'oso osui. You see that even though you magdish this animal to the bedek habayis and you shouldn't have, it remains bedek habayis. That's a kasha on Rava, Malacha Rava, Mimakom shenisrabu Bali Mumim, from the same pasuk that it says Bali Mumim, like we learned yesterday. Lo Yerotze nisrabu tmimim lebedek habayis. There's a hekesh Rashi brings between the two. They learn from the same pasuk. Memela, there's a hekesh, and Lo Yerotze tells me that it works, not a kasha. Very gezel. We know you shouldn't steal. Yeah, just remember that only in Eretz Yisrael. We were talking to a Kabbalan yesterday, and the Kabbalan said, we're talking about stealing Sefer Torah from a shul. So the Kabbalan, Chiloni, says, the guy that stole Sefer Torah, he probably took out the word Sigzal from the Torah. I thought it was interesting, like a guy, no shaykhs, but he had a Torah joke. Very gezel. If you made a shinui in the gazelle, you took wood and you made it into some sort of kli. Why? Because we have a concept called shinui koina. So we have to remember this word, shinui koina. Since Shini is kind of what should be according to Rava, you are over on Issa D'Oraisa, Lo Sigzal, so it should never be yours. You made a beautiful vessel out of it, good for you. Take that vessel, give it to the guy. Omalach Rava, again, a pasuk comes and saves him, Shani Hosam Lamakro, Asher Gozel. Asher in the past, Kemoshi Gozel, that's what you have to pay back. Well, Abaya, Asher Gozel, Miboyle, so what is Abaya that holds? They discuss exactly what the kasha is here, but the simple kasha. According to Abaya, it works anyways. You're over in a lab, it works, so it should become yours. Agzeli shaloi moisef chomesh, agzeli shal ovev eri moisef chomesh is a halacha. That if a guy swears falsely, he says, I swear that I didn't steal, and then later on he admits that he swore falsely, so he has to add a chomesh. He has to add, not only has to pay the principal what he stole, he has to pay an additional 20%. What's 20%? 25%. We're getting there. What? What? It's always milagav. When the Torah says chomesh, it always is. Always. Yeah.
To whom does he pay this?
To the one he stole from.
So the fellow who stole it from makes the profit.
Of course. Who does he pay kefil? He didn't have his thing for. It's not a profit. He missed his object for who knows how long. 25 years later, Shalom Aleichem, he does tshuva. You know those kids, they go to the candy store. Here, 20 years ago I stole candy. Here's $2 for the candy. $2. Those $2 is for me worth $10,000. I could have done a lot of business with it. Whatever, fine. $2. $2.25. Very mashkin.
50 cents.
I have a very klotz kasha here. 50 cents. Where's that klotz kasha? But Menachem Mata can't answer it because he's a Balkaira. I don't even know where it is. Where is it? Oh, here, it's on the top. This is the pasuk. It says in this pasuk basically, he owes you money. You're not allowed to take a mashkin from him. Klotz kasha. So you're not allowed to take a mashkin. I have a whole drawer in my house of mashkinis. I have watches and all sorts of jewelry from people that make me mad every time I open up the drawer because nobody's coming to get it. You're not allowed to take it. So I learned the pasuk. It says mamash and avera. It's usher. So the answer is it's a klotz kasha. What? Yeah. No. What are you saying? That what?
You say now that go to the guy's house and take the stuff.
I went to the guy's house. I took the watch from him. I said, "You want his?"
He came to you. He came to you.
Yeah.
To you.
Oh.
You're not allowed to go to his house and take it from him. That's what he said.
You're almost saying it. The point. I know. So the point. But the point is, this is.
I think every evening they send out his houses.
You're right.
You know what time
But it says loy. It says you're usher. You're not allowed to take it from him. You're not allowed to take a mashkin from
Go to
him.
his house.
But what is the point? You're saying it, but you're not saying it. Say it better. You say it better. You're not allowed to take a mashkin from a person when he owes you, when the loan is up. When the loan is up. So it's not about his house and not the house. You're allowed to take any mashkin you want from a person when in the beginning.
No, because his pajamas, you have to get back.
When a guy comes to you and says, "Lend me $1,000," so you say, "Okay, I'll give you $1,000. Give me your candelabra." That's 100% mutter. But when you tell a guy, "Here's $1,000 for 30 days," the 30 days come to him and he goes, "Oh, tomorrow. You know that guy? Tomorrow I'll give it to you. Next week. I had it. I just this week, yeah. So next week. So you tell him, okay, you know what? Very good, but give me your candelabra now. You have a candelabra? Give me a candelabra." That's also a mashkin, not about the house. The mashkin that when the loan is due and you come to get a mashkin, that's also. But you didn't listen to the Torah. You took his candelabra, you took his pajamas, and you took his.
Because you have to get back every night.
Oh, 1 minute. But the Torah says that if you took it anyways and you over the isser, give it back to him at night, and give his plow, his tractor that he gave you, give it back to him in the day. But what is the Torah telling you? That it's effective, or it's not effective. Which one is it? Very mashkin. Rachman Omer Lo Sovel Beisel Avoid Avoito Yusnan Machzir Sakar Balaylo Vesamachrisho Bayoim Tiyufta the Rava. According to Rava, yesterday already. According to Rava, it says here in the Torah, it's a very strange thing. I did an isser. I took away his plow. Give it back to him in the day. But that night, go back and take it from him. So, Kilo, your Isser was a good Isser. It was so effective that now there's almost no Isser anymore. He has to give it back to you. You just keep on giving it back. He gives it back to you. You give it back to him. The initial time was Mamash Asr. But once you had it, you're doing the guy a favor. You give it back to the day. The guy's going to give it to you back at night.
And that's not us if you to take it back.
That's what it says. No, the Torah says. That's what I'm saying. It's strange. The Torah says you give it back to him, and he'll give it back to you.
Back to the guy, but to take
It's
it
not
back
giving it
again.
back.
The initial time is also.
Yeah, but that's not really giving it back because you're just letting him using it during the day. So it's like a whole
You're not really
process.
giving it
Okay,
back.
fine. So you're not giving it back. He's timing. Very good. You're saying he's not giving it back.
You're borrowing it from me. You're borrowing it from me.
Akapanim, what do you see that it's effective? Rava says it's not effective. You over Issa, you took something from him without rishos. Forget about giving it back, not giving it back. You give it back to me, you never take it back from him. It's a one-time deal. You give it back and you never look at it again. You're over Issa. Tiyuf to the Rava. Amalach Rava shani hasam lemekra. Hashiv tashiv. A double lashon tells you that you're allowed to keep it and do a deal with him. You take it back. He gives it back to you. Well, Abaya that says that it's effective. Why didn't he tashiv? Ilav domer achmon hashiv tashiv. Avamini surah avad. Iboy nehader. Iboy lo nehader. Kamash malon. I would think. Okay, he was over the first time by taking it, but that's it. Farfallen, he did it Isser, but there's no remedy. You don't give it back to him. Kamashon, yes. And it says here, chaser lishna achrina. I don't know if we should go into it, but this is typical for Temurah, as we're seeing. There's Lashonas, and Rashi brings basically other psukim, the same like Mr. Kornbluth mentioned. There's another pasuk somewhere else that says you have to give back the pajamas and this. From the other psukim, that's what the Gemara answers. There's other psukim.
Two different mitzvahs. One's a lav.
Yes, no. One is this Isra over here. They're not allowed to go lechatchil and take it. The other one is if you already have a mashkin and he needs it, yeah, to give it back. The second one is already beheter. Just give it back to him. Vare peyo. Peyo. You have to leave over a little bit of your field on the edges. The Torah said, don't harvest everything. What's the word? Don't cut. Don't.
You said don't harvest everything.
Read.
It's good.
Usnan. Yeah, it's harvest.
Yeah.
I thought there's a better word to cut the. Usnan mitzvah peyo lahafrish min hakama. The mitzvah is to leave it upright. You leave it on the edge of the field. You don't cut it and leave it. You don't cut it bichlal. Lo yirvish min hakama. Your tractor's too wide. Took everything out. Yavish min amarim. Okay, so then you have no choice. You leave a little bit of the cut.
The bundles.
It's not so much bundles.
The bundles.
Yeah. The typical amar, but I think over here he means just like straw. Leave the straw over there on the floor. Lo yirvish min amarim. You didn't do that. Yavish min akri. You already put it in a pile. You already have grain. Give him from there. Acheloi mirchoy. Before you smooth it out, because mirchoy ma'asroi v'noisen loy. The halacha always is that a poor person doesn't have to do meiser. He takes it. He can make it. He can take as much as he wants, and he can make his own kri even, and he's potter from meiser. Over here, once you made a pile and you smooth it out, now meiser went into effect. Now you're giving him something he's going to lose 10%, 12%, whatever he's going to lose over here. It's not good. You take off the meiser. You give him a finished product. Mishum Rabbi Shmuel Amru af mafresh min ha'isa. This is unbelievable. He made a real shinoi here. He ground up the grain. He made a dough. Give him dough. To Yuvda da Abaya. It seems like the main kasha, although you could say the kasha from the whole thing, but the main question would be from Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel says that even if you made a dough, you have to give it back. So you see, it's not effective. According to Abaya, it should be his. He made a big shinoi over here. It should be his, and forget about the honey.
From the shinoi that it became into an isa.
The fact that he made a shinoi doesn't even help. It didn't become yours. I made a dough out of it. I took a straw, made it into dough that have no connection. Nevertheless, my chiyuv to the honey constantly remains, because the Torah is basically telling me you had no effect on your action. Had no effect. Why? Because you were over Isser. You were supposed to leave it bekama. You didn't. Too bad on you. Even though it's dough, you have to give it to the ani. Shani Hossam, huh?
Is it the Gnevin and the Ani?
So Gnevin, that you also pointed it out the other day in terms of it's mamish and tovim. Nobody could come. No ani in the world could say it's mine. So yes, in a way, it's Gneva, but it's Gneva that there's nobody that's going to sue you. Shinikoina. But there's a special pasuk here that says not. Shani Hosam Damakro Taziv Yisera. That even if you made a shinui, give it back. Rav Amar Lach, Rav who says anyways it doesn't take effect. Yesh L'cha Ziva Acher Shekazoi Ve'ezoi. The Torah is coming to say another big chiddush. Zamafkir Karmoi. Somebody that lets his own kerem, his field, his orchard, his vines, he lets them go hefker. Nevertheless, he's still chayiv. The sanyam afke karmoi vishkim l'shachar batzroi. Big chaverman. In the night, when nobody heard him, he screams out hefker, hefker. The next morning, he runs and he grabs his own hefker, trying to do a trick. Oh, hefker, because I found Paris hefker. I'm not chayiv in meiser. Oh, chayiv beperet v'oilelois b'shikol. He did gain one thing. We'll potter min a meiser. He's potter from meiser. It's a good trick. We'll give you that. But not everything. He's chayev, and how do I know that he's chayev in all these things? Peret oil shikrom peya, the matnis aniyin. That Rava learns from the Taziv, which he really didn't need, because Rava holds that it never takes effect, and aver doesn't take effect. So, anyways, you'd be chayev in peya to the ani. Kamash that in another case, when he was mafkirit, the peya still remains.
How long do you have to wait when you're mafkirit to be claiming? Like, let's say he was mafkirit in public, and in the morning no one came.
Yeah.
And then he waited a day, and then he claimed it.
Too bad. In terms of the
No, he didn't do anything wrong.
no, he didn't do anything
Claimed-
wrong.
claimed it.
But he was mafkir. It was his.
He
I don't. It doesn't say anything. Even a month later. What's the difference? No, let's say he waited a month. He did it legit. It's still his hefker, and his hefker doesn't get rid of his obligation to give a matnis hanim. I don't think it means that it was the next morning dafka Judah, and if it's 3 mornings later, it's different. I don't think that's what it means. The halacha is your hefker doesn't work for you to get rid of it. Otherwise, people do that all the time.
He brought him through the
And everybody goes away in New York to the bungalows, and he screams, "Hefker, Hefker!" He chops it back. 3 days later, 4 days later, they're not there. The whole week they're gone. Oh, now here's the bomb question. We just went through yesterday 10 things, today 4 things, and bottom line is we always come up with a good excuse. This pasuk, hashev, tazay, whatever you want to call it, there's zero nafkamina between Abai and Rava. The pasuk always tells us you can't catch any of them on any halacha. And there's great, whoever wants, there's a tremendous stuff here. What about Shabbos, making food on Shabbos, which is an Isser, shechting on Shabbos, let's say. There's all sorts of great stuff here. Not for now. The point is, we already answered everything up. So where is the machlokes? Says the Gemara, don't get scared from this word ktsutza. It means ribis, what we call today interest. I give you $100, you give me back 110. That's called ribis ktsutza. That's katzotz. I say to begin with how much you're going to pay. Here's the interest rate. Prearranged interest. That's a issa d'oraisa. Now, what's the machlokes? Machlokes is if it doesn't take effect, then I don't have to pay you my interest. We made up. Very good. We made up. I'm going to pay you. But we're both from people. I'm not paying you interest. I tricked you. I'm going to give you the principal and all the interest, which I actually paid you throughout the last 10 years. You have to return to me according to Rava. I can force it back in Bezdin. Avak ribis. So what's this avak ribis? Avak ribis is basically like we have today, credit cards. I'm going to sell you this field. You have 2 options. Pay me today or tashlumim. If you want, you can buy my field. You don't have to pay me a dime. You pay me today, you pay me $1,000. You pay me next year, it's $1,100. You choose. You want tashlumim, pay me $1,100. So I gave you ribis basically. But that's called avak ribis. Avak ribis any yoytzev dayanim. How's it different?
You're paying 100 shekels extra.
Yeah.
It was a sale, it wasn't a loan.
Right. It was a sale. This is called a mechira.
Sale is for another $100.
You have 2 ways to buy this item. But it is, you're right. It is really ribis. At the end of the day, it's ribis.
You gotta pay me.
The difference is sale alone, and you don't have to come out and or not.
No, it's a timeout. It's not a real sale. It's a fake sale. You want a sale, it's $1,000. The sale for $1,100 means I'm taking ribis. I'm charging you money for money. But it's a sale. So it's ribis, but it's not. It's avak ribis. There's no loan.
You give a cash discount for paying early.
Oh, that's another way of looking at it. That's not, no, because there's not a cash. The real price is $1,000. I'm charging you extra because you're not paying me cash today.
So if you wanted it differently, okay?
What? No, I don't think it has to do with the wording. It doesn't have to do with the wording. It has to do with the action. It's a sale. The Rebbe Yochanan Omar, and Rebbe Yochanan says, "Afilu ribis ktsutza eino yoytze b'dayanim." So Rebbe Yochanan basically, this is what Abai is going to hold, like Rebbe Yochanan. Afilu ribis ktsutza eino yoytze b'dayanim. That what? That it has an effect. It has an effect, says Abaya or Rebbe Yochanan, both. You were oiven d'oraisa ribis, but it was a good deal. It was a sale. It was a good loan. We're not going to take back any loans here, even though you're over issa d'oraisa. You pay the interest and finished. Omalei, you're telling me that the machlokes is in ribis.
It's not just a trick. According to Rabbi, I'm saving you from an ribis. Telling you I'm not paying you now. That's 100. I'm doing a mitzvah.
Mamash mitzvah. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have lent you money. Why would I lend you money for? What am I, a tzaddik? I stopped lending money. I'm a gemach.
understand it's a sale or alvo? The avak ribis.
The avak ribis is a sale.
It's always been good.
Well, no, he's saying even ribis ktsutz, even regular. Forget about the sale. Forget about this avak ribis any yotzi b'dayonim. He's saying regular ribis any yotzi b'dayonim. If you lend your friend money beribis by mistake, you thought you're going to make a heter, it's going to happen. It happened to me. I was going to do a heter and I forgot. You forget. It's mamish ribis deiraisa. Do I have to give back the money or not? I was over Isser, and that's it. We continue weiter. You do a shamnu, and the guy takes his ribis. What are you going to do about it? I did a deal with a non-firm guy. Well, he's not going to listen to my halachas. I said, you have to sign here, heter. Okay, great, whatever you say. He doesn't even read it, he signs. But if you made a mistake, he's not going to say, oh no, you're right, you don't have to pay me, or he doesn't have to pay me, whatever the... Why should he be masking? But according to Abaya, he should pay. Everybody pays up the ribis, no problem. You're over Isser, you pay the ribis, because being over on the Isser deraisa has an effect. It takes effect. The loan is a good loan.
If you have a cash advance on a credit card, as opposed to purchase an item,
Yeah, that's mamish ribis. Yeah. Hopefully the guys that own the credit card companies are goyim. But they have it Ethereum, they have they're publicly traded companies and da-da-da-da. Whoever does that, it's stam. That's mamish. The ribis that the Torah tells you that it'll kill you. It'll destroy a person, that kind of 22% per day. Whatever they charge, whatever they feel like charging. Hasam b'kroi pligi. Again, it's psukim. The Omar Rabbi Yitzchak, my time with Rabbi Yochanan, Omar Kra, the Gemara brings a bunch of psukim. Omar Kra, beneshach nosam v'tarbis lokach b'chai. Where is that in Yecheskel? Yecheskel. You think you're going to do ribis? You're going to live? Lo yichya. You're not going to live for this ribis business. But the Torah says, Yecheskel says, l'chaim nitan v'lo li'shavain. You might lose your life. You might get killed in an accident. But you don't have to give back the interest. Right in the pasuk of interest, it says you should fear Hashem. Again, you don't have to give back the interest. It's chal, says Abaya. Rav himself, this is interesting. Rav, I didn't notice it when I learned it. Rav, who says that it's not chal, says this is the pasuk. The same pasuk that we brought all the way in the beginning. That beneshech nosam v'tarbis lokach from Yecheskel. V'choy, it says right before that pasuk, v'hoylid ben paritz shayvir dam. Right, the pasuk right before that says you are going to give birth to some meshugana kid that's a killer, a murderer. Hukshu malvei ribis l'shayvri damim. Just like ma shavri damim le'litli shava, and if you kill somebody, you can never take it back. You can't bring him back to life. Of a malvei ribis le'litli shava, and if you take from a credit card company and charge 22%. The damage is done. It's massive damage. You can't take it back. Compound interest, Rabbi Yisai. Very, very bad. Omer of Nachman bar Yitzchak. My time in the Rebbe Lazar. I'm not joking. It's bad news. Omer of Nachman bar Yitzchak. Talking from experience. Like if you don't pay the guy back interest, you don't pay him the monthly or the quarterly interest, it accumulates and compounds. It starts racking up very, very quickly. My time in the Rebbe Lazar. But it's okay. So we just said Rabbi Yochanan. He says why you don't have to give it back. Brings psukim. It's terrible. You'll die. But you don't have to give it back. And Rabbi Lazar, Tomakro, you should give him back the money. You have to let him live. He won't be able to breathe. The interest payments alone are the killers, right? All these organizations. The first thing they do is they come in, they cut off the interest. They say, okay, let's take care of your credit cards. Let's stop the interest payments. You got to take care of the interest. Otherwise, the guy can't live. Hello. So now we're back to square one. Where is the machlokes? We still don't have a machlokes. And this is mamish amazing. And I think this is very unique for Temurah. Says the Gemara, Bishinui Kaina. Until now, today's daf, we learned what does Shinui Kaina mean? Shinui Kaina means if you take a piece of wood and you turn it into a kli, you made a shinui and you were kaina it. No, says Rashi. B'shinui kaina. We're talking about whether or not you did different than HaKadosh Baruch Hu told you to do. Is it effective or not? Until now we called that mahani and loy mahani. All of a sudden, for no reason, we just happened to use those words, B'shinui Koina. 2 minutes ago, we're using it for a completely different thing. Not listening to Hashem, nothing to do with you taking a kli, a piece of raw wood and making it into kli. That's pshat number 1. So what is the Gemara saying? The Gemara is saying there is no machlokes. The machlokes is that there's no machlokes. There's no real machlokes. Abaye says, just a shaila of, it's a theoretical question. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu says don't do something and you do it, does it have an effect? Abaye says it has an effect. I brought you 6 cases that it doesn't have an effect. They have psukim. But every time HaKadosh Baruch Hu says don't do it, it has an effect. Yeah, it's a hashkafik shaila. It's mamish, not negei l'mais at all. There's no halach in the world.
That's the boils down to.
If your bechira has an effect. Rava says no, you have 0 effect. Whatever you do has no effect. Hashem said don't do it. So Hashem meant don't marry almana. Your kohen gadol, don't marry. If you marry her, the kedushin is not chal. Oh, but in that case, I stuck in a pasuk to tell you it is chal. Okay, fine. So there's a few cases that the Torah said that it is chal. 0 machlokes. Now, Rashi brings, if it bothered you, why this word shinui koina all of a sudden fits in here? Says Rashi, no. I have another completely different pshat, completely different. There is a major machlokes, a real one, in shinui koina. If you took a piece of wood and you made it into kli, that before the Gemara said there's no machlokes, Rav admits that's shinui koina because there's a pasuk. Rav is here is going to say no, according to this pshat. Rav is going to hold that if somebody takes a piece of wood and makes it into kli, he must return the kli as is and not go backwards to the time that he bought it. And Abaye says no, shinui koina. So as I started carving out the piece of wood, the wood became mine. What do I pay the guy? A piece of 2x4. That's it. I give him $5 for the raw piece of wood and Shalom Yisrael instead of giving him this beautiful kli that I worked on for 6 months. That's a machlokes. It's a real machlokes according to the second lashon in Rashi. Go figure. I mean, the just reading it seems like the second pshat in Rashi. And Rashi says it as and you look in the art scroll. The art scroll brings the first pshat as the real pshat because that's how Rashi brings it. That shinui koina, it just maybe the Gemara was borrowing the lashon from before and playing with the words just to confuse you and have a good time. Fine. Lishna acharina. This is also very, very interesting. Lishna acharina. No difference between what we just said to this lishna acharina. Bahani shinuye d'shaninon. Says Rashi, the Gemara is just bringing down a lashon in Yerushalmi. Yerushalmi answers this question, Bahani shinuye d'shaninon. Instead of saying b'shinui koina, the Yerushalmi uses bahani shinuye d'shaninon. That it's a hashkafic dilemma between Rava and Abaye. There's no machlokes. The real big issue is that if you open up Yerushalmi, even if he has Shas Kayim, he won't be able to find it because there is no Yerushalmi that says this. But Rashi,
It doesn't mean Talmud Yerushalmi. It means Talmud Bavli coming from Yerushalmi.
okay, a pshat, another pshat, just to make it more interesting and confusing. Okay.
There were manuscripts coming from Bavli, manuscripts coming from Yerushalmi which came to Rashi. So he had 2 versions of it.
Well, it's not Rashi. This is in the Shas Bavli that brings us Bahani Shinui D'Shanina.
2 versions of Bavli. One
Yeah, but the Gemara says Lishna Acharina, not Rashi. Rashi is explaining what the Lishna Acharina is. Fine. Lishna Acharina.
Rashi's saying that he had 2 versions. It's not 2 versions of the Gemara. So now they've merged those 2 versions into one.
Okay, they mean the same thing. Lishna Acharina, another pshat, Beribis Ktsutza. It's going back to Ribis Ktsutza. What's Ribis Ktsutza? Regular Ribis. L'Abaye lo mahad Ribis. Abaye says it takes effect, the loan takes effect, and you don't give back all the bad interest that you took. The Rava mahad Ribis, and Rava says it doesn't take effect, you give back the Ribis. Different than what the Gemara said before that there's no machlokes. And machlokes. Abaye nami sova mapkinan Ribis Ktsutza b'dayonim. Abaye says that you do give back Ribis at the end of the day. Domar Abaye. Holding the masik b'chavrei arba zuze b'ribsa. So what's happening here? A guy owes physical ribis. He owes 4 ribises, but he doesn't have cash. So he says, you know what? Instead of paying you 4, I'll give you this coat that's worth 5. But it's all ribis. How much does he have to? So now I come and take it back for him. I said, then the guy that gave the coat, he goes running to Bezdin. Oh, he took my coat, but ribis. So Bezdin says he has to give it back. How much does he give back? The whole coat or 4 out of the 5? He only gets back 4. And the extra zuz that's part of the coat, he gave it to him as a present because Lamaisi only owed 4. So why did you give him a coat worth 5? Not for the ribbis, because he didn't have change. He couldn't start snipping off a sleeve and whatever. So he gave him the whole coat. So that was a present. That present he's not getting back. Akopanim, Abai is the one that says he has to give back 4. Why does he have to give back 4? Because it's ribbis. So Abai admits that ribbis doesn't have an effect. Rava says you have to give back the whole coat. My time well, we have a major problem. Either there's a machloikis or no machloikis. If the machloikis is hashkafik machloikis, there's 0 machloikis. So at the end of the day, when Abai and Rava mechulik, we brought 14 cases from the Torah. It comes out there's no machloikis Abai and Rava. It's just a shaila. Does it have an effect? Not an effect. Theoretical question, lasted lava, who knows what. Or there's a real shaila in one case where a person took a kli, stole something and changed it. He took grain and made it into a bread. What does he pay him back? Does he pay him back grain or does he pay him back bread? Rava says he pays him back grain. Abai says he pays him back grain because it has an effect. Rava says it doesn't have an effect, and Mela he pays him back the whole bread. Tana Rabbanan. Kol asher boy mum lo yisakrivu. There's an isser to be magdish or balmum to the mizbeach, but it says kol asher boy mum lo yisakrivu. Another time. So what do we do with this pasuk? Well. Here it says lo yisakrivu, and then it says in pasuk chav beis lo yisakrivu. Okay. So what do we do? So the first pasuk comes to say that shchito. So sorry, here. This pasuk, the first pasuk is going to tell us you cannot be magdish. By the way, we mentioned this before. We mentioned this halacha. One of the 14 things was of being magdish balmum to the bedek abayis. So the Gemara is continuing. Somebody takes a blemished animal and brings it on the mizbeach, he gets 5 lavim. Why? Mishum bal takdishu, umishum bal tishchatu, umishum bal tizriku, umishum bal taktiru kuloi, umishum bal taktiru muktsasoi. The Gemara is going to explain. Mishum Rabbi af kabbalas hadam. Omar Mar. Here the Gemara explains. Im bal tishchatu hariyom lemato. If you're telling me this is shchita, it already says. Heichen Omar. This sanya. This pasuk right here. It says averes shavar charutz. That's the beginning of the pasuk. If the animal is blind, broken, charutz means split eyelids. Oya Bellas has a nice wart. Remember the warts with the hairs in it, not the hairs. Givaldik. Loita krivu. You're not allowed to bring it as a carbon. Madam loymar in baltakdishu is the what's the meaning here? Baltakdishu. It's that you shouldn't be magdish harik for omelamala. It can't be that you can't. It says over here, don't be magdish. Loita krivu. Right here, you can't be magdish such a carbon. So what does it mean? So this right over here, loita krivu. It says in my handwriting, shchita. These are all extra words. It says bal tishchatu. It says loita krivu. V'isha loititnu. Okay, it says loita krivu. So what are you adding? V'isha loititnu. Elu ishim. You don't take the imurim and you put them on there. Ein leila kulon miktsasa minayin. So this is the whole thing. How do you know you can't even put a little bit? Tamaloy mar mehem. Now.
As opposed to the lo takrivu of Torah Sharba Nom lo takrivu that says you don't bring it on.
No, this is magdish.
Oh, that's magdish.
This is shchita. This is putting the whole thing on the mizbeach. This is putting part of it on the mizbeach. If you put the whole thing on the mizbeach, you over 2 lavim. One for putting a little bit on the mizbeach, and one for putting the whole thing on the mizbeach.
We'll see in the Gemara Weiter.
The Gemara Weiter. You're good for that. I can't get there. I don't know why. There's always a meeting, always somebody's dying, there's always a chasana, there's something, I don't know why. It's always an excuse, right? Fine. Yeah. What are you supposed to do? No meeting? It was the meeting for the shir last night. For how long was it? 2 hours. 2 hours.
The meeting about the share took longer than the share itself.
Yeah. Well, it's for the future this year. It's to make it wider and better and more rafchazdik. It was not. It was with women. It was not with guys. Whoever's insulted that wasn't at the meeting is say there. So why does it say mehem in red? They want to knock down this wall, Rabbi Isai, and go that way. Nah, women have crazy ideas. Mehem in red, extra also. That's miksasam, right? Mehem, a little bit of them, not all. You don't have to put the whole carbon on, even part of it. Zrikas davar minayin tamaloymar al hamizbeach. What do you put on the physical mizbeach? Because it says like the kriva. Where you makriv? You makriv on the mizbeach. Obviously, so why does the Torah says on mizbeach? These are all extra words. On mizbeach means not on top, on the side. Al mizbeach. The rabbis, tamaloymar al mizbeach. That's for zrikas adam. Another isser. Lashem. Of course. Who else are you bringing a carbon for? For your friend. Lashem, lerabois. Over here, the word Hashem comes to be marba something, not to be mimayit something, as the Gemara is going to say in a second. Lashem lerabois soir hamishtaleach. So you have on Yom Kippur 2 goats, one you shecht, one you azazel. That soir azazel, if you designated it when it had a mum, no good. The Gemara is going to explain how you do that. V'lashem leraboisu. Oh, I have a big kasha. Sometimes Hashem comes to be Mimayit. How come all of a sudden over here you decided that Hashem is a ribui? Vatanya, we darshan before that, and that over there, that if you have a carbon, there's an isser to shecht outside of the Beis Hamikdash. But if you shecht chulin inside the Beis Hamikdash, you don't get cars for that. And then the Gemara says, "I carbon shemeani af kochi bedeka bayis shenikru carbon." Maybe you're over Issa Deraisa, you get karis if you take somebody designated an animal for the upkeep of the Beis Hamikdash, not for the Mizbech itself, but for the upkeep, Shvach Kedusha, you take that outside of the Beis Hamikdash and you shecht, and maybe you chayiv karis, but you're not. Kein Shenemar, it says by Midian, when Klal Yisrael came back from Midian, and nobody was killed, they were very excited, so it says in the Pasuk, V'nakriv is Karben Hashem, but Rashi brings, it says, Klei Zahav, Etzadav, Etzamid. They took Klei Zahav and they called it Karben Hashem. So you see that Bedek HaBayis, why did they give gold? Gold is Bedek HaBayis. It's not for the Mizbech, yet it's called a carbon. Oh, so if it's called a carbon, maybe I should be over, I should get karis for shechting it outside of the Beis HaMikdash. I have a physical animal that's designated for Bedek HaBayis, and I take it outside of the Beis HaMikdash, shechted in Haifa. Maybe I should get karis. Meichet Hesed has to be an animal that's for the Mizbeach. Because the Torah by Midian calls anything that's Bedek HaBayis a carbon. And you're not allowed to take a carbon, as the Gemara darshan over there. From the word carbon, you're not allowed to take it outside. Says the Gemara. 1 minute.
3 minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes.
Says the Gemara. Kin shenemar tamaloi mavel pesach oil moyed. Haroi lepesach oil moyed chayavim ala b'shum shoychti chutz. Sheroi lepesach oil moyed and chayav ala b'shum shoychti chutz. So anything that's for a carbon, that could be a carbon in his beach, but this animal that's designated for bedek habayis cannot be a carbon. You're not chayav on him for shechting outside. Oizin iselu v'loy oitzi paras chatos v'sar mishnalech. What about a paraduma? How do I shech the paraduma mechutz? Where do we shech the paraduma, Rabbi Isai? Where? Harazaisim. But in a special place in Harazaisim. You have to dig a hole, you make a maracha. So shech chutz would be outside of that hole. Because it is outside. So you can't say the paraduma is outside, you should be over, because you shecht it outside and you're not over. Because outside of its designated makom, I would think that you're chayiv. Or sorry, mishtaleach, This one that anyways you ship off the cliff, maybe you should be chayiv. Shem ruim lepesach oyel moyed lemaisa. Paraduma has 0 mum, so why can't I bring it as a carbon? I can bring it as a carbon. And a sari mishtalech also has no mum, right? You can't have a mum because it goes in a goyal, as we're going to see. It has to be roy to be shechted. No mum, so maybe it's just right from his beach. Tamaloy mar lashem. All of a sudden, the word lashem comes to exclude and not to be marba. Mishu muchadim lashem. Yotzuel lashem muchadim lashem. So how come you're telling me here in our sugya, in our pasuk, lashem comes to be marba? Omarov, very pashat. Hasam in Yonah Dikro, Vel Pesach le Rabbis Lashem Lohaitzi. When the whole pasuk is telling you ribuy after ribuy after ribuy, this is included, this is included, this is included. So the word Lashem is the opposite of the rest of the pasuk. It's a miyut. But when the whole pasuk is a miyut, loy sakrivu, you shouldn't, then Lashem says you could. Makes a lot of sense. Depends on what the pasuk is. The word Lashem is not a ribuy or a miyut.
What could you do?
Over here, it includes a sar mishtalech, a goat. You see?
That what?
No, that even a sar mishtalech. No, you can't designate as a. If it has a mum, you can't designate it by mum.
You can't.
You can. Yeah, but it's marba. You're marba that you can. Right. You're chayev. A riba that you chayev.
You knew he would ask that question. That's why I put the picture.
The goat. I put the goat. No, because there's too many words. So much lech, my finger didn't fit on the screen. Yotzu el Hashem yichon Hashem. Fine. Should we stop here? Okay. Have a wonderful day, Rabbi Isai.
What's the difference between the field and that?
No, you're in charge? Yeah, what's the shayla?
The field